We learned about the black cloud this past week and about whether, with respect to Q or the black cloud, they don't think that they would propose an early warning system if they were to arrival, because their arrival would bring about serious disruption. Now, this book was printed back in 1957 by Fred Hoyle, called The Black Cloud. This is, I think, the original, maybe not. Okay, this is the first edition of The Black Cloud. It says in the book, it's a science fiction novel by the British astrophysicist Fred Hoyle, and it details the arrival of an enormous cloud of gas that enters the solar system and appears to destroy most of the life on Earth by blocking the sun's radiation. In 1964, inside the book, is when the astrophysicists on Earth become aware of the cloud of gas and dust, which they initially thought to be a Bach globule that is headed toward the solar system. And the cloud, if it interposed between the sun and the earth, it could wipe out most of life on Earth by blocking the solar radiation and ending photosynthesis. So as this cloud gets nearer, it approaches and comes to a rest around the sun, and it causes the disastrous climate changes on Earth and immense mortality and suffering for the human race. The behavior of the cloud is impossible to predict scientifically, so these British researchers, they team up and they come to the conclusion that it might be a life form with a degree of intelligence. Now, see, we just learned about this last week. So they try to communicate with the cloud. It's a gaseous cloud, and they succeed. So the cloud is revealed to be an alien gaseous superorganism, many times more intelligent than humans, which is surprised to find intelligent life forms on a solid planet. So it reconfigures itself to allow the sunlight to return to the earth, and humanity is saved. But we have several governments who are mistrustful of this black cloud, so they fire nuclear weapons, and the scientists, they alert the cloud, and the cloud turns the missiles back upon the senders, but it does not otherwise retaliate. But the damage has been done, okay? Some of the damage has already been done, and it's going to take a long time to turn it back around. The scientists want to know where this life form originated, so they ask the cloud, and it replies that they have always existed. So one of the characters in the book say this is incompatible with the Big Bang Theory. Now get this, it's an astrophysicist who wrote the book. So if we have an astrophysicist writing a hypothetical book, a science fiction novel, chances are that they've already discovered this black cloud. Also in the book, the cloud lets them know that it's not the only type of cloud, because they have heard from a nearby intelligent cloud, and it stopped communicating, and it may have vanished. So this cloud, it goes and it starts looking for the other cloud. So it leaves the solar system to investigate. So during the few days of communication that two of the scientists had with the cloud, they tried to learn some of the cloud's vast store of knowledge through visual signals and in order to gain further insights about the universe, but both of them die in the attempt. Sounds like a black hole. It really does. So we have this black cloud that's talked about in this 1957 science fiction novel by the British astrophysicist Fred Hoyle, and it details the arrival of an enormous cloud of gas that enters the solar system and appears about to destroy most of life on Earth by blocking the sun's radiation. This does have a scientific background. The presence of a sentient cloud of gas may seem unlikely, but this story is grounded in hard science. The author Hoyle brought his experience and his knowledge as the director of the Institute of Astronomy in Cambridge, a fellow of the Royal Society, into the book. And so in this plot twist that foreshadows Hoyle's stance on panspermia, the cloud expresses surprise that intelligent life is capable of forming on planets. Speculative discussions among fictional scientists about the nature of the encountered extraterrestrial life form, the black cloud, and the reasoning applied to decide that this new entity can be regarded as a life form is a major theme of this novel. The scientific discussions relative to a broadly inclusive definition of life, including extraterrestrial life, likely reflected the possibilities considered plausible by Fred Hoyle. So this is really interesting. It really is. Is this black cloud just all hypothetical? Is it hypothetical and it never could happen? Certainly the sun would not be turned black as sackcloth. Certainly that wouldn't happen, and block out the light. According to this astrophysicist, I think this is the way he got his message out, by writing this book. I don't really think it's sci-fi. I really don't. I think there is intelligent life form in the clouds, and so do a lot of other people. And the black cloud may very well be a gaseous entity, a living, intelligent entity. So with that being said, it's something to ponder and think about. It really is. Hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello, from my heart to yours. Love you. So now we know a little more about this black cloud that we spoke about in a video earlier the past week. Thank you. And please give this video a thumbs up. It really makes a person think when you have astrophysicists writing a book.